Bitcoin. We are live every day at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is your daily source for everything cryptocurrency markets and personal finance. I'm your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst at CrackingCrypotcurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic today, wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and whether you're watching us on YouTube, Twitch, D Live, Facebook Live, or on Roku with the Investor News Channel app. If you want to support the show, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. That's the only way you can be notified when we go live. Make sure to smash the like button. Like goal for today's video is 50 likes. I know we can get there before the cryptocurrency segment. And if you're watching on Twitch or D Live, consider giving us a follow or subscription. Before we begin, so much to talk about. We're going to break down the 10,300% epic pump and dump that happened over the weekend. We're going to be breaking down the latest in the Craig Wright, not Satoshi debacle, because 145 addresses were used to be we're going to break that down. But again, just another hit in CSW's credibility moving forward. We're also, of course, going to be breaking down today's Memorial Day price action, the Memorial Day meltdown, as we will, of course, with these pretty bearish movements coming in, these big sell-offs in the cryptocurrency markets, particularly with our leading digital asset, Bitcoin. And we'll be looking at the broader market structure and kind of getting a game plan for the rest of the week. Before we get into that, if you are tired of watching price from the sidelines or trading with your gut, or if you're just disappointed with the latest calls from crypto, Twitter, and Telegram, there's never been a better time to join our community of traders and begin building your own objective, data-driven strategy. You take advantage of our community and one-on-one mentoring, the most invaluable thing that we offer, our premium indicator suite that helps take the guesswork out of trading, our verified trading signals, and much, much more. You can find all the information at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. That's premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com, or click the link in the description below. All right, guys. Fantastic day. Hopefully you guys are doing awesome. Let's get right into this. The first thing that I want to do is just pull up current price. Let's get going. Yeah, that looks like a disjointed mess. Don't worry, we're going to break it all down. All right. Okay, let's take that off. Let's get Quadrigo off, and let's actually kind of get this zoomed out. Okay, so much more clear now when we break this down. And I threw on, I just threw on the labels on the side so that you guys can see a little bit clearer there. But anyways, price is relatively simple. Let's ensure that we do have the 60-period haul up. Yes, we are good to go here. Let's ensure that we're good here. Yep, all is well. All right. So price is below the baseline. We'll just start off with that. We'll start off with our daily time frame analysis, just get a good glimpse for where the market's at, what the dominant trend is. Current dominant trend is to the downside. Current dominant trend is bearish. We've got invalidation levels. I think Alex played this very well with the signaling for the group. So let's just talk about current structure. So we flipped to the downside. We talked about the significance of this back on the day that it occurred, moving into the weekend. That would have been the 21st when we actually broke the breaking Bitcoin system to the downside. And I pointed out, not only on stream, but also in my analysis that went out, my published analysis that goes out to the primos, that was the first time that it occurred with Heikin-Ashi smoothing since this run-up. You can see here, if we look at Heikin-Ashi smoothing, let's take bottom feeder off here for just a second. We can see there that if we do look at Heikin-Ashi smoothing, we broke to the upside. We flipped the breaking Bitcoin initiator positive on the 24th of March. And we've had, you can see the resultant run up since then with multiple entries and exits. Give me just 1 second, please. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Let's move right along. All right, back to price analysis. Okay, so we talked about Heikin-Ashi smoothing, how that had not occurred since this run-up. We get these nice entry signal, of course, on the 21st, and we have some good follow-through on there. 2 days of some slight chop. Scrooge McDuck, good to see in the chat. Strength and profit as well, my friend. We get a little bit of chop for the next few days. Overall, not very much, not much strength, not a resulting strength, neither in oversold conditions. Nothing that would signal that this is just a medium strength sell-off. And we continue to see that follow through today. And so far forming a doji on the daily. But again, as I talked about, moving into Friday with Friday's episode, my overall thought of price was to see dominant pressure to the downside with chop. We moved into the weekend. We ended up having a resultant movement on Sunday, which we can often see happen. And here we are on a holiday where the traditional markets are closed. Traditional markets will be opening up tomorrow, and we can see that the market has moved overall in that direction. Yes, we did get some resultant pressure to the upside. Not the big significant retest that was possible, that movement back up to 96. That didn't actually happen. I think the highest that we went on Saturday was we actually did crest, just slightly above 9,300. We didn't even hit 9,400. So my second wave of short asks didn't actually get filled. My resting limit orders didn't actually get filled to the downside, which is fine. I just had my original position to the downside. All right. Andrew says, I have no idea what's going on. Bitcoin went damn near 0 a.m. I think we're still highly above zero, my friend. All right. Let's see here. Minx signaling for the sell signal. This is the first time that Minx signaled a sell since the 29th of March. And prior to that, on the 8th of March. Yeah, let's go back and look at those last few signals. The 8th of March right here, signaling the sell. The breaking Bitcoin system kind of agrees with that because you get a continuation entry on that exact same candle. And then that's followed by a take profit signal right here. Similarly, prior to that, we got the sell signal here and the take profit right here. That's a good take profit and good continuation on that next level. And a continuation short right here. So agreeing similarly. Let's see here. Then we get our last bad sell signal, and then we get flipped long 2 days later. And we've just been signaling to take longs ever since. So pretty good. Paralox confirms the bearish activity to the downside. We also have a rising explosion level from Wadatar explosion. So this is all This is all good to see. This is all good to see. No initial signals on today's daily close. I'm not seeing anything that would be generating off of today's daily close. And I'm not seeing any continuation entries. Overall dynamic levels of resistance are going to be 92.24. If price were to close above 92.24, that would invalidate shorts temporarily. Price currently has to rally all the way back up to 9,900 to be flipping the trend back to the long side. I'm assuming that will. That level, as I've talked about before, that level will come down dynamically given enough time. But it just depends on how long we stay down here. Jack D's, there certainly is sound. That is you, my friend. Click the unmute button. All right. Okay. No bottom feeder signal on the primary market here. So not on Bitstamp, not on Coinbase, on ByBit particularly. And we've seen that before. With one signal on the ByBit market chart that was actually a successful bottom feeder signal. Let's take a look at that on ByBit. Let me make sure that I am correct actually by saying that. Yes. Yep. And so actually that's interesting because that is a bottom feeder signal on yesterday's ByBit chart. This is actually hinting at a movement up to 92.41. So there is again potential long bids that you can take. So for example, I've done this before. And I do actively do this with the BTC USDT contract on ByBit, where you can be both long and short at the same time. You can also, of course, accomplish this on the same account, utilizing the inverse perpetual contract. Again, Junior Analyst Trunker has a fantastic write-up on how to accomplish this because the only thing that matters is your net position size. You can do this, however, with 2 different accounts. You can use this, however, the way that I like to do it is with the ByBit BTC USDT perpetual contract, because you can be long and short on the same contract. It's very easy to hedge that way. It is very easy to do that. And again, as I've said before, I'm utilizing the inverse perpetual for my hedge, and I'm utilizing the USDT perpetual for my active at-risk trades. So bottom feeder off of yesterday's candle. I think Jason was able to catch that very well. Good. So if this completes movement up to 92.41, that's kind of a good area to refill on shorts. That would be a pretty good movement to the upside. So we would be talking about bringing down our scattered limit cells from 94 to 9600 down to now 9200 to 9400. We could actually, of course, wick up higher than 92.41, but this will be interesting to watch and see if this completes. Current validation at around 79.03, which is agreeing with our overall take profit target level. So obviously we hit multiple take profit targets on my initial short trade. Let's go back and look at where we should be. Let's go back and look at the Coinbase chart and look at those and see where those have updated to. Short, and we'll look at our historical levels, and we'll look at that initial signal right here. Would be pointing down to, let's make sure we get that. Let's get the data window open on that candle. Quadrigo is right here, sorry. 84.72, 78.88, and 72.94. So we have not hit the daily signals yet. We have not hit the daily signals yet. We have not hit the daily take profit targets, because we reached a low on today's candle of 86.32. So from our last peak, price down, reaching a pretty much a down of about 10%. Yeah, right there. 9.90 currently, so a little bit more than 10% down. All right. All right, Cybot coming off of a successful 2-hour short sell, catching this last leg down on the 2-hour chart right here. Cybot signaling right here. That signal went out to the premium members. Obviously, Mink's agreeing here on the 2-hour time frame, just generated an exit signal over here, so pretty good trade. Similarly, it also caught the last dump down, signaling for the short on that reversal, which was really beautiful, right? We see this big sell-off. Cybot waits until price gets bought back up, then signals for the short, and we see a successfully completed take profit on this wick right there. So that was a beautiful trade. This one was an early exit signal, so Cybot's early system right here, early exit system right here. Entry here at about 9 o'clock a.m. my time. Quiet on the 4-hour time frame. Let's see here. We do have oversold conditions on Minks on the 4-hour time frame. So again, that's giving some confluence to the daily bottom feeder signal. We could see a little bit of some price action to the upside here. Yeah, we had talked about that retest of the 90.55 level to get filled on a swing bid up to that 94.96. That didn't happen. We shot right through that. No bullish divergence here on the 4-hour time frame either. All right, let's look at today's price action here. Let's see here. ISASpot signaling for a reversal long right here on this candle. That's a red close. Looking for that 1% trade. We did end up getting that. Basically a retest of the point of control. So as you can see, we broke down. This is yesterday's price action. Yesterday started off with just a little bit of a bid up. Not good. You can see, look here. You can see here a backwardation basically stopped. This was not aggressively sold into. This was not really aggressively bought up. But of course, yesterday was a market down day. The market wasn't, traditional markets weren't going to be opening up today. So I don't think we saw that same level of front running from the Hong Kong session or from the London session that we would normally see on a Sunday. So you can see here that basically as Sunday opened up, price got bid up a little bit. You can see that the backwardation on price basically goes away. Backwardation on price basically goes away. The funding remains positive, predicted funding remain positive. We even, if we look in here, we can see a premium begin a premium form on price here for about 3 hours, actually about 4 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4 premium on price for about 4 hours. And that wasn't to last, right? Because that is not what you want to see. If you want to see generally backwardation on price as we are moving to the upside, that lets you know, or at least we've kind of shown fairly substantially, that we have good correlation between backwardation on price and price generally continuing to move up because shorts are still holding onto their positions. Now, this is not always true in all market conditions, but it certainly has been true for the last few months that we've been following this. And then again, we see price begin to move down, extreme backwardation. So that was not to last. Generally, like I said, if price starts moving up, it's when you see that sharp premium on price, when you see price flip to a sharp premium that typically marks the top. And I've given those levels. 0.05% premium on price generally indicates a market top, and any backwardation that is below negative 0.12%, not 0.12%, generally indicates a local bottom. We don't have that right now. We don't have those extreme levels of backwardation. We don't have those extreme levels of backwardation, but we do have steep backwardation. Like, we are basically there. So I could see him moving up to today's point of control right around the $9,100 area. As I said, bottom feeder would be indicating around 9,200. So that forms a logical area to get refilled on longs, and seeing a little bit, no, not really seeing any bullish divergence here on ISA spot here on the lower time frames. So really nothing to do. As we are consolidating at today's point of control, I think this is a logical area to punt along up to the $9,100, $9,200 area. That would confirm with that bottom feeder signal, and invalidation, obviously, if you end up breaking these lows. That level, let's see, has this level been swept? This level has been swept, so one could be a little bit less aggressive. One could actually wait for us to break above this local resistance and then set your stop loss down here in the $8,600 area. Not a bad play for today. Not the area that I would want to be aggressively market shorting, because that is what the majority of the market is doing. As we can see, the majority of the market is aggressively market selling, and they're likely to get punished. So this is not the good area to scale into a further short. I recommend that individuals hold their shorts open, because I think that we will see lower prices. Not the right area to scale into one. In fact, if I were going to take any kind of maneuver today, I would be looking for a long in this area, up back to resistance, looking for like anywhere from a 2 to 4% movement on today's price action. Now, this might not play out until tomorrow. And again, market might open tomorrow. This trade might not end up playing off. We could fail here and continue to sell off, which is why one should have stacked up their shorts in the right area, around the $9,700 area. So continuing to hold the long-term positions open. And overall, if we kind of zoom out, we are at the bottom of this range that we formed in Bitcoin's price action. And we have seen heavy absorption every time we've come down here. We can see that heavy absorption here. When I'm talking about absorption, I'm talking about the ability of bidders to absorb the selling pressure of aggressive market selling. And we have always seen, we've seen this basically going back to the end of April. So for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because we're moving into the end of March now, the end of May, excuse me. But again, we see these long wicks to the downside, long wicks to the downside, long wicks to the downside, indicating heavy absorption. That indicates that there was aggressive market selling. A lot of individuals tried to sell and break the market down at that point in time, but the bid side of the order book absorbed that pressure and was able to push price back up for a second retest of support. Now we are right there again in that area. So again, not the best place to look for an aggressive market short. But I do think that it is more likely that this does end up breaking down. And we talked about those targets over on the daily. 78, 72. Let's look at the volume profile analysis. We're right in the mid-range. We're right in the mid-range. No reason for us to really turn around right here. Again, lower down support is going to be that $82 to $8,000 area, 81.47 if you want to put a very precise price on it. Failure on that area should logically move price to 6,000 to 6,800 based on VPVR. So the long-term point of control would be a good logical retest area that's sitting around $6,300. And looking at this through the lens of traditional analysis as well. On the daily, yep, as I said, we broke down through, retested the 20-period simple moving average, and we have not yet reached the lower boundary of the Bollinger Band yet. RSI is also in neutral territory, sitting right around, what is it, RSI at today? RSI at 47. So now in the bearish control zone. RSI in bearish control zone, and we are not yet to a reversal area. So RSI is not oversold, nor have we traded below the lower boundary of the Bollinger Band, and we have lost the midline support of the Bollinger Band. So this is bearish on all fronts. Logical retests, again, now become the 10-period exponential moving average or the 20-period daily moving average. Those levels are coming in. Let's put the labels on the chart. Labels, indicator last value label. Labels, indicator name value. All right, so the 10-period exponential daily moving average is coming in at 91.37. The daily 20 DMA coming at 9,300. So right in between those levels is where bottom feeder is indicating that we can retest on to the long side, and it's a good area to get refilled on those shorts. All right, we can actually take off the moving average because that's compensated for in the Bollinger Band. But let's just make that. Can we make that chunkier? Here we go. Let's just make that chunkier. There we go. And brighter. There we go. So yeah, even Bollinger Bands would be hitting at the 84.73, 84.65. So I don't think it's a stretch to say that we can actually hit 8,200, which would be that first take profit target on the daily there. So short-term price action, I think we can see a movement up. Another $300 potentially today, potentially moving into tomorrow. But overall, I think the better trade and the safer trade is to hold the short open and wait for those lower prices to come in. However, again, looking at where we are, we've moved quite a bit since we originally signaled for the short. Taking a little bit of profit here is not a bad idea. No, this is not a recording, man. This is live. Looking at the broader markets today. As I said, moving into the weekend, we have seen some really, really good movements from the altcoins. So what's interesting, if I said the market might open tomorrow, sounds ominous. No, I'm pretty sure the market will certainly open tomorrow. Potentially, I misspoke. Crypto Caveman, good to see you, man. All right, pretty good day for altcoins. We've seen good movements out of altcoins over the entire weekend. We're going to cover this 10,300% pump and dump. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there will be markets, and those markets, they will be opening. Oh, man. Let's see. Biggest movements, Zilliqua. We do like Zilliqua around here. Steam, interestingly enough, I guess Justin Sun is buying that up. Sia Coin, Engine Coin, IOST, Verge are doing well. Obviously, we had some big movers. Let's look at performance over the week. Yeah, big movers over the last week. Theta, Omisago, Verge, Solvecare. I've never traded that. Zilliqua is up a respectable 15%. Celsius up 35%. Overall, pretty good movements from the altcoin sector here. Big losers, of course, 0x, but 0x had a massive run up. NRG, but NRG had a massive run up. Hive, but Hive had a massive run up. Cosmos, but Cosmos had a massive run up. Same with Redcoin. Redcoin had a massive run. Challenged investor asked, am I hedged? Yes, I am hedged. There's no, and in my opinion, based on everything. So again, let me make my analysis a little bit simpler. I've been short since 9,700. I've taken one reversal long that failed. Since then, I'm in a very profitable short position from 9,700. I am hedged, and I have at-risk short exposure on. I think that where we're currently at in the market makes sense for a small play to the upside. If you want that extra risk, I don't recommend that people close their shorts out, but you guys are welcome to make your own decisions. I think that we're going to see lower prices, so I'm going to remain hedged and remain short, and I might consider playing a potential long from this area if I can find an attractive entry zone. I'll have to confer with my team. So, I think price is going to go lower. Trade safely. Let's check out some of these bad boys. RVN BTC signaling nicely on yesterday's daily close. Getting more confirmation as of today. We can see finally the DMF, the dynamic money flow, getting positive. Parallax getting positive. Minx signaling for the long as well. Rising Wadatar explosion level. So again, firing from most systems on yesterday's daily close and getting a very good movement from RVN BTC moving today. That's important to me for other reasons. Some people know, some people don't. Let's see here. That Omisa Go. Yeah. Big retest from Omisa Go. We can see that local blow off top. Rising explosion level basically all the way throughout here. Omisa Go to tether actually signaled for my system long on this candle right here. We can see it. Beautiful run up. Had to, kind of had to hold because there was about 3-4 days there of not a whole lot of movement. But again, beautiful, beautiful movements coming up. Not actually generating an exit signal on the daily. We do have the Minx cross under right here. And we are actually in continuation zone right here, but no objective continuation signal. Closing below 1.5606, 1.56, not 6, is going to be a exit signal on the daily, but we haven't actually gotten that yet. Let's take a look at Omisa Go through the lens of traditionality. Yeah, this would have told you to exit certainly on that same candle where Minx would have given you the exit signal. We trade above the upper boundary of the Bollinger Band and then close back inside. And honestly, looking at this is like a gift. So if you didn't sell somewhere here, you've been given kind of a gift to get out at a better price. So I think that this is a very logical profit-taking area on Omisa Go and move those funds into something else that is likely to move up as we are seeing alts do well. RSI recovering from being overbought. Let's see, what were those other top movers? Theta, let's take a look at Theta. Actually, Theta USDT. Theta's still trucking along. Theta didn't have that big old sell-off at the top. Didn't sell the news. Let's see here. Yeah, I think Theta actually doesn't look too bad. I don't think this is a good entry level for Theta. I think this is a good profit-taking area for Theta. Yeah, if I Theta, I would not. I mean, if you enter Theta here, just unsubscribe from this channel. But certainly, like, scale off profits, set a trailing stop loss. You could set a trailing stop loss if you wanted to be nice and conservative. I would set a trailing stop loss on Theta at 0.313. If you want to be very conservative, I mean, we could do, yeah, like 0.28. Let's see here. Yeah, this doesn't look good. This is fairly neutral, actually. Nothing really on tensor charts. Social index is way down. Open interest is inconclusive. I do want to point out this, right? Web design, thanks for the sub on YouTube, my friend. The Puel multiple, and I've pointed this out several times. Puel multiple. The Puel multiple has indicated good accumulation zones for Bitcoin over the last 3 years. And there's no such thing as an indicator that's right all the time. But the Puel multiple is a good on-chain fundamental, right? It's not really on-chain. It's based off chain metrics. But anyways, and we're in that accumulation zone again. So again, for those of you who are watching, who are sitting on the sidelines, who are a more passive investor and are kind of interested, like, whoa, man, like, you're getting technical, but like, what's the long-term threat? I'm extremely bullish on Bitcoin and moving forward. Today's, it's Money Monday, guys. It is Money Monday. Now, that means on Money Monday, we buy stuff, right? We buy stuff. Every Monday, we put money in the market. At least I do. That's my personal strategy. Now, it was my intention to purchase more silver today. I was going to purchase some more silver. Actually utilizing, I was going to do Robinhood. They've upgraded their app. I wanted to get back in. I had previously bought on Webull. But since today is Money Monday, I'm going to do something special. Of course, it's also Memorial Day as well. So I'm going to be purchasing some Bitcoin today, and tomorrow I'm going to be purchasing some more silver. So we'll do it that way. We'll have Money Monday and we'll have Money Tuesday. We'll have Money Monday and Money Tuesday. I like it. Now, normally, again, just buy stuff on Monday, but again, it's been feeling particularly bullish moving forward for the next few years. So we'll just buy some Bitcoin today because that's a good side thing to do. It's always a good bet, always a good time to buy Bitcoin. And tomorrow we will buy some more silver live on the air. All right. Every day should be money day then. We could just add money to days. Well, that's why we trade, my brother. Okay. And also I didn't really finish my point here. Pull multiple is indicating that we're in the accumulation zone. So I think that moving forward, end of 2020, 2021, Bitcoin's going to be at much higher prices. I think we're going to see this continue to sell off in the short term, and that's okay. Good long term. What's that? Am I giving away silver live on? And that's the show, guys. All right, let's before I get even more scatterbrained, we've got some stuff to talk about in today's news, as well as kind of break down. Obviously, we'll do a deeper summary of the traditional markets and foreign currency tomorrow when we can actually trade markets. So we will break down the SPY, the Dow, the VIX. We'll break all that stuff down tomorrow after we see Monday's kind of price action come in and move. I'm expecting kind of a down, but we'll see. Futures are going to be a little deterministic of that, and we'll have more information on that tonight when we publish our analysis for the premium members. All right, so with that being said, let's get into today's crypto. Currently, if I buy paper silver, I'm part of the problem. I mean, I get that, man. I own physical silver, but I have no problem with paper silver, and I guess that's my problem, right? So, let's get into today's crypto currently segment because I want to break some stuff down. We've got some funny stuff going on that I want to educate you guys on. All right, so the first thing is this, right? I don't even know where to go with this. So this whole morning, my Alex had sent me this link, and I this was on my screen on one of my monitors like all morning, and these maybe you guys can't see it. You guys can't actually see the scrolling ticker down here. Oh, you guys can't see the ticker. But there's this awful ticker down at the bottom that just has the worst fear-mongering. Possible. But again, CDC warns of starving aggressive super rats attacking the public for food. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Rats too are proving more aggressive, and they're scrounging for scraps with restaurants shuttered. Oh man, do they sell like mice, like rat mace? Just saying, guys, be careful out there. Carry some rat mace around. Carry around just a little 380 or something, right? Used to bullseye womp rats. My T16 back at home. No, it's all good, man. Some jurisdictions have reported an increase in rodent activity as rodents search for new sources of food. Okay, anyways, so this is just funny. If you guys want to spend an hour getting told that the world is a terrible, awful place, check out this survivalfile.com. If you really want, this, which is strange for me because I don't follow news like this. I don't watch traditional news. I stay up to date on what's going on, but you have to pick your sources very well, right? I don't turn on the mainstream media. I don't turn on the mainstream media because I'm pretty sure that stuff is designed in a secret government lab to make me stupid. So I prefer to be intelligent. So, but this is definitely not the news source. All right, so I just wanted to show that. I thought that was funny. Okay, so moving on to today's main story, and CSW back in hot water again. So obviously, Craig Wright is a controversial subject around here. For those of you who have been living under a rock, he is an Australian computer scientist, and he claims, although he is not, he claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin's anonymous inventor. And today, we have seen his credibility take a big old Louisville slugger to the kneecap because somebody, a miner, has signed 145 addresses that are related or associated with this Tulip Trust. Tulip Trust being Craig Wright's imaginary friend. I mean, Craig Wright's proposed, why he doesn't have, why he can't pay the billions in dollars in Bitcoin to the Kleinman estate who is suing him, Ira Kleinman. But these addresses that are associated with the Tulip Trust have been cryptographically signed. Now, this is I'm talking about the Kleinman estate versus Wright court battle. This battle revolves around a trove of Bitcoin that were mined in the early days. And Craig Wright submitted a list of addresses suspected of being associated with his holdings that were locked inside this fabled Tulip Trust. We talked about this when the 50 Bitcoin were moved on chain from one of the early wallets, one of the Bitcoin OGs, Bitcoin OGs moving 50 Bitcoin on chain last week. We talked about Craig Wright's statement. He came out and said, well, that wasn't me. And just to clarify on the Tulip Trust, here's the thing. I wasn't actually saying that I had the private keys to all those addresses. I'm just saying that, these are addresses where my Bitcoins are likely to be. Now, Jimmy Song actually came out and said something very interesting about that, which is that in the early days of Bitcoin, why, one argument, in the face that Craig Wright is a fraud is that, in his opinion, in Jimmy Song's opinion, it seems like Craig Wright just went onto a block explorer and went back to the early days of Bitcoin and just copied a lot of addresses down. But the problem is that back in the day in Bitcoin version 0.1, there were not public addresses as we know of them, right? That's pay to pub key hash, and the early Bitcoin Coinbases would go into pay to pub key, which would be not the address format that we are used to seeing. So he would actually, if he knew what the hell he was talking about, he would have put those pub keys in there, not the hash of the public key, which, because modern block explorers don't know how to process that early pay to pub key, unencrypted hash, non-hash, it's not a hash. They just convert it into what is considered a readable address. So that address didn't actually exist in reality because it's pay to pub key, not pay to pub key hash. All right, so this list of the Tulip, and the only reason that we know of this list of addresses, right? Remember that last week's 50 Bitcoin on-chain transaction, which was a Coinbase transaction mined back in early 2009. Remember that that address that it originated from was associated with the addresses that the Craig Wright put in this Tulip Trust document. But again, also note that Craig Wright has basically said, these are the addresses that might be associated with Tulip Trust. Well, he didn't originally say that. He originally came out and said, these are the addresses. I have these are my Bitcoin. But since he claimed that, not only have we seen this 50 Bitcoin transaction, but also others of those addresses have moved to Bitcoin as well, basically indicating that he does not have control over these. And they're not his addresses because he has said that he has not moved any BTC. And then, of course, he came out with a qualifying statement last week because this dude is literally just floundering right now. We're going to get into the floundering here in just a second. Saying that, well, no. Again, I wasn't trying to say that for sure those are my addresses. Those might be my addresses. I was just mining so much Bitcoin back in the early day, I can't remember. These are just possibles. And then again, he didn't even have the foresight or the knowledge actually to know that, bro, you put in the hashes you put in the public key hash, but there wasn't no public key hash. It would have just been the original pay to pub key, which would be unhashed. But anyways, this list of addresses was briefly and quote unquote inadvertently made public by the plaintiff's lawyers, right? And this gave the crypto community an opportunity to scrutinize the addresses the addresses allegedly held in this mysterious tulip trust, which again, there's no such thing as a tulip trust. But this brings us to the message that was signed today on the Bitcoin blockchain, because in it, 145 addresses associated with the tulip trust in those legal documents were used to sign a public message calling out Wright as a fraud while making it clear that somebody other than Craig Wright is in control of these Bitcoin, of these private keys. And the signed message reads right here. Let me highlight this. This is the message that was signed cryptographically today. It says, Craig Stephen Wright is a liar and a fraud. He doesn't have the keys used to sign this message. The Lightning Network is a significant achievement. However, we need to continue work on improving on-chain capacity. Unfortunately, the solution is not to just change a constant in the code or to allow powerful participants to force out others. We are all Satoshi. All right. Now, let's talk about this court case for a little bit. The court case was brought by Ira Kleiman. He is the brother of Wright's former business partner, David Kleiman, and they're seeking half of 1.1 million Bitcoin, and that's about $9.6 billion at today's valuations that Craig and David allegedly mined in the early days of Bitcoin, as well as there's certain intellectual property associated here. And the case has hinged on whether Wright can prove that he has the keys to this Bitcoin, right? And it appears that these 145 addresses, which were early mined Bitcoin from 2009, coins which most have not been moved since, kind of the question that we have to assume now is, with this cryptographically sealed, with this cryptographic message that was put on the chain, is this the same individual that moved these 50 BTC? Because again, he proved that he had the private keys associated with these 145 addresses. Okay, so whoever did this is, I'm not going to say it cannot be. Whoever did this is either Satoshi Nakamoto, but unlikely. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that's unlikely. Or this is an early individual who was involved in BTC. And again, even Craig Wright came out and said that just because, I mean, when BTC was put on the cypherpunk mailing list and the cryptography mailing list, there were a lot of individuals that utilized the network. Nobody knows how many. Nobody knows how much. Nobody knows who owns what wallets, what addresses. Nobody knows whose addresses and wallets are Satoshis, but certainly the network saw early support and anybody could have hooked up their laptop and started mining, meaning that anybody could potentially be this person. But we have to wonder if this is the same anonymous individual who late last week transferred 50 Bitcoin from an early Coinbase transaction. And remember, that initially led to panic in the streets, because Satoshi has returned to access his fortune. And even though we went over this last week, that if we look at the Patoshi research papers and the extra nonce, this is not an address that's associated with Satoshi. Again, repeat, that was not Satoshi. Now, now a week later, most on-chain analytics firms have mostly debunked that the 10-year-old stash is being associated or belonging to Satoshi. So it is possible that whoever signed this latest message calling out Craig Wright was the same person behind that high-profile transfer last week and also is not Satoshi Nakamoto. Because again, Satoshi Nakamoto did emerge from the darkness back in 2014, I believe was his last message, when he just slam dunked on Bitcoin XT, right? And warned that it was a dangerous fork after previously being dark for a while. So if Satoshi Nakamoto is still around, he has never, at least as far as we can prove, like he's never come out and used a sock puppet, right? He's always posted with his Vistomail account on the Bitcoin Talk forums and said what he wanted to say, right? And he did so, or in the mailing list, right? And he did so with Bitcoin XT, just slam dunked that down and called it a dangerous fork and a pretender Bitcoin. And that was the death knell. But remember that Wright has claimed in court that his billions in Bitcoin were being held for him in this so-called Tulip Trust. But he could not prove that he controlled the keys due to attorney-client privilege. Now, he has been accused by the judge of abusing this attorney-client privilege to withhold documents, and obfuscate the proceedings elsewhere in the case, right? This has been his entire thing. Now, last August, the judge on the case also found Wright had argued in bad faith, perjured himself, and admitted false evidence into the court. In another filing on May 21st, the Kleinman team filed an omnibus motion for sanctions against Wright, claiming that Wright, let me see if I can find the link for that. Yeah. Quote, here we go. Wright is engaged in a sustained pattern of perjury, forged evidence, misleading filings, and obstruction. This included submission of false evidence, which, if not unmasked, could have resulted in plaintiffs being deprived of their day in court. Now, moving into... get back to that here in just a second. So this is a tweet from Zectro. Someone just signed a message calling Craig a fraud from 145 addresses Craig claimed were in his Tulip Trust. I verified the first few addresses on the list and their signatures and presence on Craig's list, and it checks out. And let's see here. This is BN Crypto saying using the Bitcoin signature tool, BN Crypto is able to authenticate that the wallet addresses and signatures did sign the cryptographic message. And the same addresses also appear in CSW's list as part of his claim to being the creator of Bitcoin in the court case with the Kleinman estate. All right. So, in summation, Craig Wright has said that he cannot reveal that he has the keys to these addresses due to attorney-client privilege. Okay. Then his story has changed like 19 times because first the Tulip Trust was an exhaustive list. Then it was not an exhaustive list as soon as somebody sent 50 Bitcoin on chain from one of those addresses. And now we have a double down on that because somebody has proved cryptographically that they have the private keys to all 145 of these addresses that are associated, that Craig Wright said were his, and that person is not Craig Wright. So it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of comes from this. Can somebody this is funny here. This is funny. Now, the last thing that I'm going to say about this, yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to gonna gloss over this that next part. So anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts and comments. You know, this channel obviously attracts generally people who are BTC core, but I'm open to, I'm open to the speculation, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm aware that I don't know the answer. I am extremely confident that Craig Wright is not Satoshi Nakamoto, and also that he's a liar. It seems to me that what has occurred, I don't really know the full story of everything, but again, it seems that David and Craig were either mining together or not whatsoever. So, you guys, Ira, you guys let me know your thoughts and comments in the section down below after the show, or let me know in the live chat. Is it just really as simple as somebody, embarrassing themselves granularly, but let's go on to something a little bit funner, right? 4chan rumor. Shout out to my B-tards out there. Many are speculating that a potential alt season is brewing underneath the surface. And this next story seems to have sparked the imagination of crypto investors that are holding bags in anticipation of a 2017 style rally in the altcoin space. So an obscure and relatively unknown low cap crypto surged more than 10,300% in an instant after users of the anonymous forum site 4chan and Telegram appeared to buy into a rumor that the coin was poised to rally. This is just your classic kind of pump and dump scheme, or pitch and flip. A post on 4chan's business and finance page hyped this open curve insurance, OCRV, as the next crypto gem that could skyrocket 100x, right? Let's see if I could find the... yeah, I don't have the actual post. Maybe it's right here. Yeah, here it is. Here's the original post from 4chan's biz, saying, strap in, market cap is only 8,000, and this blank, hold on, let me see if this works on stream, and this is going to explode, already is shilled on Telegram. OPYN could be like TRB months ago, only that 100 times cheaper. So it's not going anywhere. Yeah, that's true. So within a few hours after this 4chan shill, this OCRV coin went ballistic, right? The token climbed from 29 cents to an all-time high of $3.04, right? Now, the token is actually a token from Open, which is designed to allow users of the decentralized finance platform Curve. I can't remember, to insure their deposits. These insurance tokens are supposed to protect investors against market volatility or flash crashes and other systemic risks. Did the opposite, but on the day that OCRV exploded, traders were buying expired insurance tokens, right? Because as they bought the tokens, OCRV crashed as fast as it climbed, because a couple hours after hitting its all-time high on May 23rd, OCRV plunged down to 22 cents. It's a devaluation of over 92%, right? And this is a pretty classic pump and dump scheme. This is certainly a cautionary tale about the dangers of, let's say, investing based on what 4chan or Satoshi Bets or Wall Street Bets tells you to do, where coins with low volume can rise exponentially before quickly crashing back to where they began. Remember, basics of price, right? I get asked this all the time, right? People, somebody was asking me over the weekend, like, how much money does it take? How much money does it take to move the price of Bitcoin? I was like, well, it just depends on the exchange, right? Literally, like if the lowest ask is 1 penny and you buy a penny worth of Bitcoin, well, you just move the price up to that, right? It's all based on the order book. So that means that for price to move, somebody has to market buy or market sell, right? Market orders move the market, limit orders pad the books. That's how it works. If somebody doesn't click a button, price doesn't move. Price is determined dynamically and naturally, by market participants, by traders, by buyers and sellers, by everybody speculating simultaneously via these electronic networks. And that means that when you see price, like let's say Bitcoin's price pumps to 19,000 right now, okay? That means that for price to be 19,000, somebody had to buy at 19,000, right? For you to sell at a good price, somebody has to buy at a bad price. And for you to sell at a good price, or for you to buy at a good price, somebody has to buy at sell at a bad price, right? There's always there's a winner and a loser on every side of every single trade, all right? So you need to, listen, I've said this before, guys. There's so much money to be made in these markets, but you got to be really, really careful about stuff like this. It's a cautionary tale because, again, somebody bought the top. Lots of people bought the top. So just be careful, guys. Be careful out there. Buy it because it's cheap. But also, hey, if you're chilling, if you're chilling on 4chan, maybe you can get some good interest. Let's see. Some wait. Are you saying Andrew, are you saying that there was tomfoolery on the Bit7 exchange? Like the completely illegitimate exchange? Like you're saying that there was like shenanigans with price? Like, I'm shocked. Book Chewy says he will buy 19,000 when we get there again. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And I guess I'll just comment like on this topic, right? Like I see because I see Jack and agency talking about this. My personal opinion is that scaling is not a huge issue right now. SegWit largely solved that right now. We're not seeing blocks being filled to capacity. And at the end of the day, right, like BSV is I believe in freedom. So BSV is certainly allowed. I mean, they don't even need my blessing. I don't even need to say this. Like, it's a free and open market. Like, they can do whatever they want, and they have. Like, they have modified their code. They've forked the way that they've wanted to. They're running their own mining, and they do what they want, right? And but you just look at what the market is doing. The market has decided that, you know, those who advocate for BSV say, if they make the argument that BSV is superior to Bitcoin, they're going to use the scaling or the, you know, kind of like the smart contract type thing, which is actually different, but that's BCH. But the market basically, and that's fine. Like BSV can make that argument that, look, we're better because we scale. But it seemed the market doesn't seem to care, right? The market and market participants buy Bitcoin. So clearly the market, if you look at what the market's done, which is the market is the final arbiter, it said that, hey, that's a great argument, BSV, but, you know, like, nobody cares, right? Bitcoin is scaling sufficiently for the market. If it wasn't, people wouldn't buy it anymore. And it has, you know, unparalleled security that hasn't been broken. And I think that that's what's most important to the market and investors. And this is, you know, like, this is basically the big argument, right? Like, you know, we don't want to hard fork the code because that's very dangerous, and Bitcoin, we can't let Bitcoin fail. And there are better ways to soft fork this in, right? And we can say, you know, that's why SegWit was pretty sublime, because it was a solution to the blocks to the scaling debate that enabled lots of great things that we're going to be seeing with Bitcoin, like Taproot and Schnorr signatures. And SegWit was necessary to bring Schnorr signatures and Taproot in, and it let us scale, right? So we do, you know, we can fill blocks up larger than 1 megabyte now. I mean, I don't, yeah, but I mean, I don't know what that means. I mean, it seems like the market and the majority of Bitcoin developers would disagree with you, man. I don't see how SegWit, I've heard this argument before, but it doesn't really make sense to me. And like I said, like, everybody is free to be able to choose for themselves, right? Like, obviously, you know, there are going to be individuals that believe that BSV offers greater security or greater immutability or greater truth or greater functionality or scalability, or, you know, Craig Wright has a nicer tie than Satoshi Nakamoto, and, you know, we don't like Adam Back, and, you know, Blockstream is evil or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, you just look at what the market's doing, right? Market decides. I mean, I don't think so. All right, let's do something. Let me see if let's get the guys on. Sorry, I should have gotten the guys on a while ago. Let's get the guys on. Give me a sec, guys. All right, cool. Well, I got Alex here for now.
Hey guys.
Let's see here. I'm going to studio mode and get this. Oh, I know why. There we go. That's what I want to do.
Hey, we got Jack with us.
Yeah, we do.
Yo.
What's going on, Jack? How we doing?
Doing good. How's everybody doing today?
Couldn't have a good good PSV versus BTC scaling debate without Jack. We don't have to have that argument.
I didn't know that there was any debate to be had.
I didn't either. Yeah, last time I checked the market capitalization of BTC, seemed like that argument was pretty much dead in the water.
Yeah.
All right. So Magnus wants me to take a look at Icon. Every time I look at Icon, ICX, for some reason I think of Konami. And then I'm like, man, Metal Gear Solid had such a good soundtrack. Okay.
When I think of Konami, I think of all their NES games. They had such like a varied library back then.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Jason, what's going on?
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Governor. You guys still arguing?
No.
Not still. We haven't started yet. Welcome, yeah.
Haven't even started yet. Hold on, let me talk about Icon here for a little bit. By the way, you're right on here with me. But Alex, thanks so much for the 8-month resub, my brother, over there on Twitch.
Well, thank you for thanks for having me on.
Yeah. All right. ICX currently trading about 3,786 sats. I think that, let's see here. We do have initial entry over here, waiting for a nice pullback. Did not get down below into the entry qualifier level. It's a pretty volatile one. So you would have had to use something besides the 60. You would have had to be running a system that would not be using that entry qualifier condition. So again, this is high volatility and kind of this big explosion to the upside. So you would have either had to, take a discretionary, rules-based discretionary approach to this trade, or be using something quite different than my baseline, or be running a strategy that doesn't utilize a baseline of the entry qualifier, as I said. So something that is probably going to have a higher hit rate, a strategy that has a higher loss rate, because it accepts this kind of slippage or allows you to trade these highly dynamic large movement pairs or take entries like that. Clearly, after a big candle like this, most people would get sticker shock looking at that. Not really something that you would typically want to go long on. But we are above the baseline. Conditions are overall bullish here. This doesn't really look like an entry that I like. this would, I mean, this has the potential to break through. We are forming, we've come up to this resistance, roughly this resistance level right around 3,900 to 4,000 sats 3 times, and actually more, right? Like, because if we really look here, this is getting up to 43. This last peak got up to about 43 as well. So we've been forming progressively lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So let's actually look at that. Yeah, we've been forming progressively lower highs, something like that. I kind of like the horizontal level better, and I think if we looked at something like VPVR, that would be pretty instructive here. Yeah, just this overall level has served. You can see this high volume node right here has served as resistance right around 4,100 sats. And both times subsequently we've gotten daily closes on that. We kind of look for that retest of 4,100, and it just fell right through. So unfortunately, that's what I would want to see. You got to see a convincing break of 4,100, right? You can certainly try, you can see the way that this thing is traded. You can see the way that this thing is traded.
And now it seems like you'd really be longing resistance if you tried to long here.
It does look like you'd really be longing resistance. Yeah, I mean, the logical trade here is to sell it, wait for the retest, buy it back up, and just wait for that range to break. This thing's been trading in a range since February, and then
Up to look at for sure.
Yeah, and then if you break above that $4,100 range, I mean, and you really want to take that breakout trade, you wait, you see the break. And then you try to buy the retest and just hope to God that we actually push off this time. I would be neutral on this, but trending, it does look it is giving bullish signals.
I mean, the rest of the market looks good. Just for that reason alone, I'd be like, well, it's probably bullish. I mean, it looks like a bull flag almost.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
me too.
If we look at classical analysis as well, we had a contraction of the Bollinger Bands followed by expansion. We are trading above the upper boundary, so that's an upper boundary breakout, and RSI is not overbought. So that, in conjunction with the fact that this thing is, as Alex pointed out, forming a bull flag, this thing's been trading in a range and looking like it might be breaking out of that range now. It's worth a punt, man. You could be a little bit more conservative and wait for the break of 4,100, as I said. Horizontal levels much better than diagonal levels, in my opinion. Wait for that break of 41, which would also be a high volume node, and then look for the retest of that for that support to hold. And then you can. So this, all I'm talking about right now, this is not a systems. This is not a mechanical trade. This would be a discretionary trade based on rules. Can I add ByBit to the Quadriga position sizing indicator? Yeah, I have it on. Yeah, that's super simple to do. I have it on the Quadriga ATR indicator. I can add it to QPS. Seeing what the pulse of the chat is.
There's a few. You already got to ICX. There's a few questions in there from a couple people. And if anyone has any other questions right now, make sure to drop them in the chat.
I see questions being asked about CRO, CRO.
Isn't that the MCO based token? Isn't that the crypto.com one?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look. Maybe we can pull up the crypto.com. Although, as a little follow-up, you guys remember we made a talk about the crypto.com Visa card last week on the show, and we were
couldn't ask us about CRO 5 days ago, man. What's up with you?
Right, so you need Monaco. You need a certain amount of Monaco to be staked to get your card. So I was kind of anxious to get my crypto card. I was looking into, what's the next step here. And from what I can tell, you need to stake their Monaco for 6 months before they ship it to you. So I kind of want instant gratification on this. I just want to click subscribe and get the card sent to me. But I think I'm gonna have to stake, like $2,500 worth of Monaco for the next 6 months before I ever see this damn card.
Yeah, that's like a long pause and wait, huh?
I wonder
You know,
how
it
successful that
it
could
was
be.
a lovely long quite a while ago.
Can't you just maybe you could just buy somebody's staking position? Like, do they actually like require you to register on the website and like dox yourself, like drop your personal info and like stake via them? How do you prove to them that you're staking?
You have to KYC to get the card, and then the card I think is linked to a Monaco address. So what I think happens is you open the staking window, or like that's associated with your account, and you deposit the Monaco into that. Now, what I see they're geared for is they want you to just add a Visa card, an existing credit card to your Crypto.com wallet, and just do a Visa purchase. So like, for me to check out with the metal card, they want me to buy like, again, $2,500 worth of Monaco and
Right.
check out with my credit card. And then immediately, I guess they deposit it into this Monaco registered address. And, then I guess I would lock it up from there. So I think that even if I were to acquire someone else's bag, I think they would still want me to, it's not enough for that to be staked. I have to deposit it in the address that they want and then stake that 6 months. I mean, it looks interesting, but again, this is one of those like impulse things. I wasn't really planning on buying and staking $2,500 worth of some worthless shitcoin all to get like a metal credit card, but it's hella tempting.
Yeah, a piece of metal.
Well, it would have been it would have been better if you got interested in doing it like around the lows, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a damn good point, guys. If I could got in at 50 cents instead of $5, it would be more practical.
Yeah.
And the worst part is the black one, because obviously you want the black card. You want the you want the metal card with the black finish. All right, that one's 50,000 Monaco. You do the math on that, that's like $250,000. I'm not about to drop like
For a piece of metal.
for a
Great.
goddamn Crypto.com card, right? But
Well, that's what makes it special, is because people like you can't afford it, dude.
Blue Box makes
I
it.
can't afford it, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, people like me too. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, yeah, but that's what makes it special.
Blue Box makes a good point here. He's like, it's just a vanity thing. Just go get a piece of scrap metal and glue your card to it.
There you go. Better yet, just go throw it into a big old magnet. Just get rid of your cards. That's so odd to me that they would do that, like just for a credit card, because I feel like this is the time when we're going to start seeing that type of thing phased out.
Kind of, I guess, but
Well, it's a crypto credit
even with contactless technology, these cards are gonna, you might not be swiping them anymore, but you may be tapping them for years.
I think people still want physical cards. Cards are convenient. Like,
Yeah.
you can hand cards off to someone. Like, if it's all mobile based, I want to have to hand my cell phone to someone to go purchase something. Fuck that.
Yeah, I think NFC and this contactless isn't going anywhere anytime soon, so I think that will be a standard. But at most, you'll see mobile, technology start to eat away at it a little bit. So as more and more people have their, the NFC and their Android wallets set up on their phone, we'll be probably tapping our phone more for that. But yeah, I really don't see little plastic SIM cards going anywhere. People are gonna be tapping that stuff for years to come. But there's a hot market out there. Like, you got your American Express Black and other premium card offerings out there. People want that stuff. Some of the ththings that they offer is like premium materials for the construction of the card itself. It's a small thing, but for, like you said, maybe even if it's a matter of vanity, people are willing to clearly pay for that. And the Monaco.com is like, I mean, how many other crypto payment cards are really out there, right? So I think it's definitely gonna be a growing market. And in some sense, I have no issue staking however many thousands of Monaco tokens if the damn thing's going to pump over the next few months or years anyway. So in some sense, I think it's a bit of a promising project. Clearly, there's a bit of a retail appeal to getting this card, and therefore a bit of utility for those damn Monaco tokens, right? You offer like some other bonuses to go with it. It's a bit of a competitive product. So I would say that, like, out of all the useless shit coins that are out there, this one surprisingly might have more utility than the majority of them. So here I am looking at buying Monaco, right? After all, there's probably other people like me.
Well, I mean, does the shitcoin really have utility, or are you being forced to purchase it to get to something that does actually have utility. Because, I mean, what does this token do besides I have to purchase this token like as an artificial gateway to get to this
Metal card.
you know, to get to fine, like the card has uses. I'm sure there's benefits to it, so I'm not going to say vanity only card, but whatever. Like the card's the thing with utility. The token's fucking worthless.
I mean, in some sense, you have to factor the token in as it's what pays for the annual fee, so to speak, right?
They're like Chuck E. Cheese tokens. I mean, like fine, you take them to the counter and you get your like metal credit card prize, and that's what the tokens are worth, the same amount as Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
That'll be
yeah, for sure. In some sense, they're like
50,000
they are
tokens
reward
prize.
tokens on the
Yeah.
platform. For them, you know, you are getting a slew of other features, not just the metal card, and like anything else, you know, usually for a credit card, you may be paying for the service and all that. You will be paying either
I'm sure there's like an
the
annual
service
fee or
fees and the
something.
membership, you know, the subscription fee to that particular card, right? So, you know, you might be offsetting some of that cost, you know, because if it's not this, then it might be using another card that's going to provide me either reward points or have a cost to use it. So, you know, it's like saying, you know, does BNB really have any utility? Well, I mean, if it kind of saves you subscription fees on their platform, then kind of, right? And then this is kind of thing where Monaco slots in with that, and also it's a crypto cash back card, right? So like I think between 2 to 5% of your spending on it is returned to you in crypto, and that crypto is paid out in Monaco, right? So you get staking rewards and you get like I say, the crypto cashback paid out in Monaco. So as long as Monaco, you know, remains flat or pumps, you know, at the end of the year, I can trade in the Monaco I've earned and cash back and have 5% more Bitcoin to show for it, right? Not necessarily a bad deal, right? So it's got a neat feature, and yeah, you're gonna buy the Monaco, you gotta front the Monaco in order to access it, but you know, that's its value proposition.
Mm.
I mean, my argument. So my argument is this, right? Like, so, like, you know, as with all technologies, right? Let's go to crypto.com. No, thank you. Yeah, I want to see this. Learn more about the card. Yeah, okay.
This poor guy just probably wanted us to look at the chart, but
He didn't sign up for all this. All right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so to get this black card, okay, certainly 5% cash back is awesome, right? Like that's literally free money. Okay, so cash back is literally free money. They, you know, unfortunately, I have talked to some people who do not understand how cash back works. So I use a credit card for every single purchase that I make, right? Well, like my daily purchases, right? There are other ways that I go about doing this. But I use a card that gives me 2% cash back on every single purchase. And that is literally free money every single month. So 5% is 3% more free money unless I cannot do math.
It's 150% more of the free money, actually.
So you get this...
Because it's 1.5.
All right. So you get this crypto.com private and private jet partnership. Well, that just sounds like luxurious, but you get crypto.com private, you get Amazon Prime for free, you get Netflix, you get Spotify. Okay, Netflix and Spotify is not expensive. So the cost so it comes down to this, right? If you think that let's see here. CRO is the processing blockchain, right? So, you know, CRO is the native token of the blockchain that actually processes these transactions. Do you really need a native token for that? Most likely no. MCO is for staking. So it's, you know, it's this whole, I'm sure that somebody could probably argue that, no, man, like you totally need these tokens. But that comes down to, do you really need native tokens that have a financial value to process information? The reality is no, you don't. It certainly makes things funner. But if you think that the MCO project is going to be successful, then speculating early on, it makes a whole lot of sense. Those are rewards, certainly to move towards. You know, I remember MCO in the very early days when they were, you know, advertising the releases of their cards and they were blasting things on Twitter and they were doing the big publications. This was back in 2018. No, that was See, Monaco completely flipped. They were not originally going down this route. They flipped direction back in 2018. What am I thinking of? What's that other cryptocurrency that released a card? Credit card. Not
I know one that said they were going to, but did not.
which one's that?
That was base pay.
No, this was
Also, I remember is MCO.
Okay, well then it was also base pay.
it was also base pay. Base pay defrauded investors, and so did this other oh man, I can't think of its name. It's like this shiny silver card. I was all over Twitter. Can't think of it right now.
I mean, practically speaking, the way I look at it is that these payment cards, these types of fiat to crypto Visa card gateways are pragmatically the main way we're going to start spending our crypto in the near future. And so realistically, what the card does is it kind of gives you a way to access point of sale terminals using your crypto. So yeah, like, the app on your phone links up to the card, and you manage the card's accounts using the app. And then, whether it's Bitcoin or whatever else, you deposit onto the crypto.com, wallet on your phone. You can access it through the Visa card. So realistically, I can drop any kind of crypto really in the damn app. And then if I have this card, I can spend it on the fly. And it takes Visa, right? So sounds simple. You think more people would offer this, but realistically, I think this is probably one of the leading contenders in this space. So I do think that, hard to believe or not, it might have some potential in the future. I'm also, I'm not really bullish on most alts or see much utility for a majority of them in the near future, but I think this is a little bit of a standout. And again, I'm probably a little biased. I just want my damn metal card, and I'd like to have it sooner than later. I'll tell you this much: if it wasn't a 6-month staking thing, if it was a 30-day staking thing, I'd probably already be staking that Monaco right now.
Fair enough.
But god damn it, feel free to chastise me. I know this is just an impulse thing, but god damn it, I want the metal card, boy.
I just want my metal card.
I want to
all
wave
those
around the
check
crypto
marks
card,
on
bro.
these
You don't want to.
tiers.
You don't want to tell your friends you're paying today with Bitcoin? Come on, man.
So, I mean, that's literally the definition of vanity. Hold on, guys. I got this. Gonna be making fun of you when you have the pink one.
Yeah, I did see that challenged investor where Justin Sun put out that tweet that asked, "What's better, ETH 2.0 or Tron 4.0?" And it was like overwhelmingly ETH 2.0, and then he was like, put out the new poll, and it was like 30,000 more for Tron 4.0. And then whoever posted that original thread was like, yeah, so like for $900 you can buy 30,000, like it's publicly available, like 30,000 Twitter poll votes, $900.
That's funny.
Pretty cheap.
That's pretty cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, he bought himself 2 million subscribers and the 30,000 votes in about 30 minutes time.
Yeah. Nailed it. So anyways, if we talk about, how dare you, if we want to talk about the price of crypto.com, listen, crypto.com is in a particularly
I guess a crypto bull market is back on. Justin Sun has come out of his hole, seen his shadow.
Yes. But I mean, it's pretty bullish. I mean, altcoins have been performing very well over the last few weeks. Crypto.com quite well so. So anyways, when we really are pumping like this, we have, typical reversal indicators are going to remain pegged. So for example, we can see Minx, which the previous time we were overbought on Minx did signal a top. We've been pegged for a while. All things stochastic, RSI, Fisher Transform, they're going to remain pegged. On the daily, RSI has been overbought for about 2 days. We haven't really gotten up to extreme levels, but you can see during this last like very sustained long run up in MCO, like RSI was a completely useless indicator when it came to overbought, right? Oversold in cryptocurrency matters a lot more than being overbought, because when you go on these large pumps, they're going to remain pegged. So this is CRO. This is the actual processing coin. The only thing that you can do right here is just wait for some kind of reversal signal, right?
Some kind of pullback.
Yeah, so in this case, and I've talked about this a lot, when you are in incredibly bullish markets, right? And I've learned this by like going back and creating models of how the optimum way to trade back during 2017 would have been like during Bitcoin's bull run and in early 2018 when we had, alt season. And the reality is that when you've got something that's just stair-stepping up, just skyrocketing to the upside, you have to be cautious because you have to be able to identify what's a pullback and what's not a pullback. Therefore, in most market conditions, utilizing some form of reversal exit indicator is going to get you out almost all the time at a good enough price. And you can just do that moving forward. But if you do that, then you're generally going to get kicked out a little too early before these big runs, and that's what most investors are looking for. So you can either have a discretionary rules-based approach that allows you to get into those entries, and then your exit signal should not be a reversal exit signal for a long, such as like a stochastic or a Fisher crossover in overbought conditions. What it should be is a trending signal to the short side. So price tore up, and then you have to wait for a trending signal to the short side, i.e. something like the Fisher transform going below zero, for example, utilizing modern indicators, or a bull bear cross on the average directional index, or anything. So that's what I would be watching for, and that's why I like the breaking Bitcoin system so much, because it's designed to do that. So for CRO, if price goes below 800 sats, I would consider that the end of this blow off top. And so obviously the next logical question that those who are watching at home are like, okay, Justin, that sounds great. You basically told us the best exit indicators for most market conditions and how you can apply a trending short condition to exit longs, and that allows you to take advantage of these upsides. But Justin, how can we sell the top? Well, listen, guys, there's not an indicator or a form of analysis that exists on Earth to catch the top of a massive bull run. It just doesn't exist. So what you can do is dollar cost average out, right? So every time you see a big old pump, sell a little bit, right? See another big old pump, sell a little bit. This allows you to try to disperse your average exit as high as possible, right? Or again, you can just get a good entry, wait for that trending short signal, and be happy with a very profitable trade, and not be that dude at the back of the class who's like, well, how could I have gotten like that extra 5%? Like, man, yeah, it's a 90% pump, dude. Like, you're really sweating that 5%? All right, moving on.
Yeah, that's something that I think people focus on a little bit too much. They're like, well, I want to make sure that I catch the rest of it if it moves. I'm like, well, why are you even talking about what ifs? Like, if you're already in the trade and in good profit, have no worries about setting a trailing stop. Like, who cares if you miss the other leg? It's all about being profitable. Unless it's an investment, then you shouldn't be micromanaging it like that anyways.
We're going to the moon, boys. Let it ride.
Yeah, Cash App has had a card for years now, but sorry that it's not made out of titanium, though. You have to pay a 35% capital gains tax on all the crypto to Visa purchases. That's not necessarily true whatsoever. I'm not saying that that's not true, but it's not universally true for everybody. It's going to depend on your personal spending habits and your personal tax bracket. All right.
You can do a lightning round if you want. There's a couple of charts that people have requested.
Let's do it. What do we got?
We got Digibyte, Band.
Again, Digibyte?
Someone out there loves it, man. BCN? BCD?
I am not digging Digibyte. I'd like to see Digibyte above 259 sats, which would basically be a break of the previous range. Yeah, I would be flat on Digibyte until we close above 259. Yeah, this would agree. You could, I mean, there's a potential trade up here. It's like a 20% trade, taking it up to like 260, but you're entering in the middle of the range, and Yeah, this doesn't say anything to me.
Yeah, that's definitely a do nothing situation if you're not already in something.
Next,
Looks like band is up on deck.
Band has just been nonstop.
You gonna jump on the bandwagon?
Dude, I
Oh,
should have got into that like weeks ago, man. I was thinking like
story of
next
everyone's
link-
life.
the next link play is gonna be
I should have
big,
got
just
into
like
Bitcoin
Link.
in 09.
yeah, band is oracles, right? Yes. Yeah, I was thinking of Beam, which is the what do we want to call it? It's Grin. It's based off Mimblewimble. Beam is Mimblewimble, but it's like the option of privacy, right? And it's got retail solutions.
I mean, Link has been such a hot product that I figure anything that rides the Oracle coattails is going to do equally well, and figures I should have got in on Band when I was looking at it weeks ago. I know hindsight, boys, but just saying, this Oracle Link moonshot is clearly not going to stop spillover effects into the neighboring coins.
Well, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, Jack. Should take in position.
Yeah, I love your what if story.
I love your what if stories, man, but like, what are you gonna come on the air and tell us about your investment that played off?
Should have gotten Bitcoin in 2009. I'll tell you what. What if?
Let's see here. So Band, my opinion on Band is I would like to see price above 13,836 sats. That would be continuation. We are technically bullish, basically coming down for a retest. We're kind of retesting previous resistance here. So we had formed this level of resistance. Price is pulling back. We're getting a nice reaction. And we've got good invalidation levels. So this is not actually a bad area for something like a reversal baseline bounce. In fact, I feel like, yeah, that's exactly the trade that we're looking at right here. Would be something like a reversal baseline bounce. And we've got some hard invalidation. So if price closes below 11,814 sats, I would exit the trade. Otherwise, you could look to take that breakout trade, as I said, above 13,836. And I would, let's look at just from current price. I would be targeting 14,325. But I'm thinking if we get that breakout, 15,800, 17,000 as initial take profit targets.
Yeah, plus we've got the continuation filter there, which should help us find a continuation entry point.
Yeah, and same on Band. Like this is, we're either going to get, or not same on Band, but like also here on classical, we're pushing these tops. This could be distributive in nature. And kind of that midline, you can see we've pulled back down to the 10 period daily exponential moving average. That's at 12,357. So that's roughly where the baseline is at on this chart via the Breaking Bitcoin system. And we've got the initiator at 11,814. So if we close below that, I think that would be that early warning sign. That would be very close to the 20 period daily moving average. And if we close below that level, then likely we're actually going to come down here and retest support around 9,000. So I think this is a good area for, roughly this is a good area for continuation long. So we could either enter now on that reversal baseline bounce setup with invalidation if we close below 11,800. If we close below 11,800, I'd expect us to retest 9,000. So really nothing to do until we get down to 9,000. Just stay out of it. Or if you want to be a little bit more conservative and not take the kind of reversal risk right now and ignore the reversal baseline bounce setup, you can wait for that objective signal for us to close above 13,836 sats and take that continuation long, in which case you'd be targeting 16, 17, 18,000. Jack's got a first edition shiny Bulbasaur. Get wrecked. Come on, kids.
I like how he called it shiny instead of holographic, like an idiot.
Damn. Shots fired.
This student just asked, "Hey Justin, what are the advantages of having your oscillator line as crosses or circles as you do with minks?"
Visual.
Yeah,
Hold
I
up.
don't think there's any real.
You know, it can be really difficult when you're doing charts, and especially when you're presenting charts to other people, to present that information in a way that makes it digestible
Everyone
at a glance. Because if you have too many lines, or lines that are out of place, or they're not clear, or the colors are wrong, like you look at it and it's just like a smudge of chaos all across this person's screen, because they don't. They're not staring at it. They didn't put the lines there, and they don't know it as intimately as you do. So, you know, a lot of the stuff, the way we have it, is just for, you know, for that visual comprehensibility.
Where did that, hold on a second. Who's this, did somebody already remove that, BTC address that was posted in the chat?
Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Appreciate it. All right,
Jack got it.
so the question is like, is there any like strategic or technical difference? Not really. What can happen? It's just so what the guy said here was mostly correct, right? The aesthetics are nicer. Sometimes it's easier to see these crossovers and cross unders. There's also like less visible, assuming that you've programmed your indicator to. Most indicators, all indicators repaint, right? Intraday, right? Meaning that your signal, like two lines crossing over, or, you know, actually the value of where something's going to land will change based on current price, because most things are being calculated based off of current price. And if current price is a floating variable because it's not determined yet, right? Closed price is current price on an open bar, then your indicator is going to change. Now, I think that having one line represented, a smooth line represented, because a smooth line doesn't change very dynamically, and a more dynamic line, so in this example, the Minx line as opposed to the noise line is very smooth, doesn't change very dynamically. Minx is very sensitive, so it'll change dynamically. Having it as a circle kind of prevents how wildly you visually see it kind of bounce around, which I think is good. The second thing is what you can sometimes get, and this is not actually, like, I don't know how true this is. Let me explain. Sometimes instead of seeing an objective crossover, you can see the circle like sitting right on top. And at that point, it's unclear to you if it's actually crossed below or just sitting right above, or if they're equal. You can look at the data window and actually look at their variables. But if you're just visually scanning, often conditions like that will be either an early warning, or you can create a rule for that, which is I'm always going to take these trades, or I'm never going to take these trades. So some interesting visual aesthetics can affect your strategy. It just depends on what rule set you want to experiment with and want to apply. Keep in mind that that's only going to be true for manual trading, because if you program that algorithmically, that value is going to be somewhere, right? There's no such thing as real floating math. All right, what do we got? Anything else?
I think we've hit it all for questions, unless someone else has a question out there that they'd like to answer live, but the list we've gone through.
What about any of you guys get in on this OCRV? Jack, you got in on this OCRV, right?
Yeah, I went long 20,000 contracts.
20,000 contracts, man.
Yeah, I think I got out right at the bottom of that time.
So half risk, huh?
Yeah, I bet the farm, you could say. And then just as I went to click sell, the candle got me. I'ma give all of my people a portion to build them a fortune. I'm flipping the ride. I can't be mixy when iffy the vibe. And 40 on 50 is really the time. Why are you all on my phone like you want me? Like you wasn't pushing the kid to the side. I don't know if you bitches are thinking I'm blind. Cross on my crosses and dot on my eyes. Done with your efforts, I'm dealing with. Let's see. OC died. Just did a 5x today, and it's not because Compound Finance is getting hacked. 4chan discovered it and decided it was a low-cap DeFi coin without even reading what the token is for. Want to make money off of 4chan? Go sell OC DAI on open.co. Alright, well, 4chan put me onto the link, so I guess they're like 1 for 2.
Sell insurance on Compound.
Problems on problems on problems on problems, I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. A foe in affection, I summon and dub it.
Trying to think if there's anything interesting that's happened, but
Apparently, what's interesting has happened is people got a lot of stimulus money that they don't know what to do with because they can't leave their house, so they're blowing it on shitcoins.
Meanwhile, the real story.
that's a good time for the little boat.
Yeah, I saw a really interesting chart of the price of American Airlines stock versus the number of individuals on Robinhood owning that stock, and just as the stock price is going down, you see the number of individuals rising into the hundreds of thousands. Here, let me throw that into everybody if I can.
One cohort dumping their bags onto the other. I love it.
Well, isn't that literally the definition of the entire market?
Yeah, I guess in this case we know which side the sucker is.
Just happened to be looking in the mirror.
But yeah, Memorial Day, yo. I don't know if you guys have any words to say about the big long weekend holiday that is in the U.S. Maybe not all of our audience is aware. Today is a long weekend.
Is this where I thank people for their service?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank everyone.
Thank you everyone for your service. Alright, I threw the thing up at everybody. Just
Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, generally here in the States, like, you know, people, today's the day where people are going to go to the cemetery. And, you know, shout out to anybody with family that serves, or shout out to anybody that serves. I got a lot of respect for those that serve in the military. It's, you know, it's an important day for some people. Most people don't take it very seriously, and that's okay. Most people don't take many holidays very seriously. Most people just go to the beach or spend time with family, and I think that's overall, like, you know, what's important, you know, regardless of how you feel about the military. At the end of the day, you know,
it's important.
Yeah, we're all tied on this planet, so, you know, take advantage of today, and you know, spend time with your family. The weather's pretty nice out there, even in the UK, I hear, which happens like twice a year. And so yeah, like, you know, just enjoy time with your family. Sunlight is good for you.
You're vitamin destroying yourself.
Shut it down. What did you put? I can't actually.
And everybody.
Oh, I think that disappeared. Okay. I can look if I disable this. Otherwise, I flash and dock my screen. Warren Buffett sold his airline stocks to Robinhood traders. Copy link. Copy link, but we're not talking about banned here. All right, let's see here.
Smart money, meet dumb money.
What is this? Oh, on shrinkflation. What's that?
Of course.
What's that?
And of course,
What is that? What's that one thing that went up? Come on, why don't you zoom in for me? Let's get this thing going.
Yeah, what is that?
that's got to be mounds, right?
Like,
think-
why, as I'm zooming in, is it getting smaller? Oh, the picture won't scale. The picture won't actually get smaller.
That's the same picture up there. That's negative 17.
There we go. There we
It's not
go.
exactly the same.
Negative 18.
It's a Jaffa cake. What the heck is
What's
what the heck is a Jaffa cake?
I don't know. It's doing well.
This is like some Mandela effect stuff. I've never seen a Kit Kat that looked like this. Am I living in an alternate reality? Is this a simulation?
This has got to be UK stuff.
4-finger bar. I didn't even know they called it that.
I mean, I've heard of 5-finger bars, but normally that's when I steal them.
Yeah, Jaffa cake literally looked like Velveeta cheese.
Oh, what the heck is this? A Mars?
Mars bar? I know
A
that.
Mars fun size? When have you ever seen a Mars in a black wrapper? That's super weird. What's going on?
I don't know about black wrapper, yeah.
UK, what are you guys doing, man?
What's the difference between that?
Yorkie, oh my gosh, they make chocolate bars out of dogs.
Well, that's an Asian method.
Savage.
Savage.
I've actually seen that Mars bar with the black packaging. But I don't know why Java cakes are negative 18.7, and then the very bottom thing is Java cakes again, but it's up 5.8. Be a better flavor.
So uninterested in my Robinhood tweet that you are now scrolling through Twitter looking for other things to talk about.
No, okay, so break this down for me, please.
No, I think it's, you see all these retail traders buying the bottom here, and ordinarily you think, well, normally like what retail traders do wrong is selling the bottom, and maybe buying the bottom here is a great thing. But I actually think what you're seeing here is retail traders think that they're buying the bottom. They don't understand that there is another bottom, and that bottom is called bankruptcy, and
Right.
common stockholders get nothing. So common stockholders are the very last people to get any of the assets in a bankruptcy, because you're technically the owners of the company. You're not a creditor. Creditors get all the money first, everybody that's owed money, and then you as the owner of the company get what is left, which is basically nothing. So I think all this money is going to evaporate. These people are rushing into what they think is a deal, but I mean, just look at American Airlines' financials. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah, you can get a round trip for about $15 these days, huh?
Well, I mean, just like the amount of debt they owe, they spent a whole lot on stock buybacks, just like a lot of them other ones did. They're just they're basically doomed. They're gonna have to file bankruptcy.
Of that, so maybe Jack can weigh in a little bit on it, but they were putting out something how the government was going to start intervening on giving bailouts to cruise ships, and I thought that was just downright silly.
Especially because most of the cruise ships, they're not even they're not even quote unquote American ships. That they're all registered in like Mauritania and like way out these other places. But bailout money suddenly they're silent up to Uncle Sam's tit to take a drink.
Yeah, it's insane to me that like the government would just get to decide which industries don't fail. And the cruise ship line, I just didn't think was that big of a deal.
I understand how there are some industries that can't allow to be failed. Like someone explained oil industry subsidies to me a little more deeply, and while I hate the idea because it sort of like keeps these what is becoming inefficient, polluting industries alive longer. We need it for energy security. As Americans, if all our energy production is in other countries, then someone can just like embargo us. We have zero oil, and then our entire economy crashes to a halt. So, on the one hand, I do understand how there are some industries that cannot be allowed to fail, and they cannot be allowed to be outsourced. But the cruise ship industry,
Is
bye. Goodbye.
To survive.
Have you guys never gone on a nice cruise?
I have.
They're
It's
lovely. They're lovely, man.
I got a stack of $100 bills out of the crane machine.
Same thing here with Hertz. Hertz shares plummeted by more than 50% after the Dow reports the company is preparing a bankruptcy filing. Meanwhile, Robinhood traders have been increasing the company's shareholdings from the money the government stimulus checks by the dip. And then what I thought was kind of funny was this guy.
They're buying a company they know is going bankrupt.
This person says, I find it funny that investment managers think that Robinhood traders combined can match up to Buffett's holdings. Well, it just depends on I don't think that's too insane. You just look at the overall, Robinhood's extremely popular. There's billions of dollars on Robinhood in total investment. So, you know, to say, oh, just because he's Warren Buffett, like, you don't know what his position size is. Like, one individual position size might be like a $250 million. So yeah, like, you don't think that there's a $250 million of the combined volume on Robinhood? Come on, get out of here.
Hey, real quick, since he's been asking a Redbeard down
That's
here,
what I'm just getting to right now.
KNC there.
Kyber Network. I like Kyber Network here. This is okay. We broke above on the breaking Bitcoin initiator, bullish above 7,075 sats. Let's see here.
Ooh,
and we came back down into the entry zone qualifier. So this is actually quite beautiful. Yesterday's daily close was the time to take this, in my opinion. Let's see Quadrigo on here. So I would be looking at 8,052, 8622, and 9197. So you might be right. I do actually like this. This is kind of a nice setup. Nice pump, back into entry, holding stable. Invalidation if we close below 70.75. Yeah, invalidation if we close below 70.75.
The reason I didn't enter this one for the group is just we're just too long already. We can't really go any more long than we are.
You can't get any more long, man. We're already like...
We're like 10-11% risk right now. Although we've got enough things like that are in profit that I'm not too concerned. But one thing that we're in that's really pumping along with the lower cap stuff is IOST USDT.
Mm-hmm.
So that's doing really well right now. That's a trade that we're in. I'm just about to we just hit take profit 2 on that one.
Nice. Good call, man. Good call. Pull over. I'm already pulled over. I can't pull over anymore. Go long. I'm all in, man.
Too long. I can't go long anymore.
Just jack that leverage slider right on over, man.
You know, the bot, is very cautious about the positions that it takes because, I mean, it's got a certain position amount, and I keep noticing out of the corner of my eye, whenever I put in a trade, it's just like a smaller and smaller amount. It's giving it all it's got. Go take profit somewhere. We can't do anymore.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Man, it's 1:57. It's time to go, guys. We got stuff to do. I got a lot of programming we got to finish up this week. Thank you guys for joining me. Final thoughts moving forward, thoughts on the market, thoughts on anything that we covered today?
I think we retest the 92 to 94 range before we reject again.
Alex?
I'm kind of agnostic right now. I took a reversal long earlier today. We're like $20-$30 in profit, and I'm unhappy with it. We haven't moved how I thought we were going to move out of this area, partially because it's a local market point of control that we're sitting in right now, and I think that's why we haven't moved out of it very quickly. If we broke down from here, if we just like retested 9K, didn't make it and broke down, I wouldn't be surprised. And then if we broke above 9K and then we retested 9600 area, I also would not be surprised. So yeah, anyway, we're long right now. We're in a scalp long, but I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I took the bottom feeder signal last night.
Yeah, so you're in profit too on your long signal.
Yep.
I guess we're in scalp longs, we're net short, we're in hedged, and we're just kind of seeing what the market's going to do here.
Feeling it out, baby.
I kind of hope the market falls farther because, I mean, that hedge would be a significant, boon to our overall, our Bitcoin portion.
Yeah.
But kind of waiting to see.
So we are drastically net short with a little long exposure. Actually, we have no direct long exposure. You could just say that we have reduced the risk on our short slightly, so that we can actually make BTC on the way up, make USD on the way up, lock that dollar profit in and convert it into BTC, and then carry forward with the larger position to the downside when we re-hedge that, which would be what you'd do to take profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So. All right, good calls, man. Good calls overall, and very nice work over the weekend, guys. Jack, anything? You gonna stake to get your MCO card and
your 60,000 MCO or
and
whatever you got.
I don't have too much to add, but no, these guys already shamed me in the private chat. Made me feel like a damn fool. So skip what I said about MCO. I'm going back.
Cut it out.
Straight bombed on him, man. All right, go.
Screw you guys.
All right, man. Just get that City double cash card, man. Can't go wrong. Bellissimo. All right, thanks guys for coming on. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
ETYL.
Cheers, boys.
All right. Let's head on here. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Analysis, brought to you by Cracking Cryptocurrency and the Premium Trading Group. If you guys are new to the channel, if you enjoyed what you saw today, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a follow over there on Twitch or DLive, and smash the like button on the way out. That does help support the channel, lets us know that you enjoy the content, and continues to incentivize us to put out this show every single day. Make sure, if you haven't already, to join us in the Discord for our Discord community. It's absolutely free. Discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Certainly the place to be, whether you're an active trader or a passive investor. And if you are tired of sitting on the sidelines and you would like to start building your own objective data-driven strategy, check out everything that we do, premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Links are in the description down below for everything you could possibly need in life. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or death threats, please leave them in the comment section down below. We'll do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. Big shout out to Alex, Jason, and Jack for coming on the show, as well as everybody else in the background who helps make the show possible. We will be back tomorrow. Overall prognosis on the market has been laid out, so make sure to rewind. Timestamps will be placed down below a little bit later if you guys want to jump to anything. We covered quite a bit today, so thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a fantastic Memorial Day. Big shout out to anybody that served. Again, we don't have to have an argument about, again, I come from an overall, as a libertarian and as an anarcho-capitalist, which, again, two qualifying terms that sometimes fit together. We can have arguments over, whether things are justified, but it certainly takes courage to serve. And I have a lot of respect for people to go out there and believe in something and fight in what they believe in, and do protect individuals, because that is their role. There are scary, dangerous things out there. So big shout out to anybody that served. Big shout out to anybody that's family that served. Enjoy today. Big shout outs, props, respect. And make sure to spend some time with you guys' family today. It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day out there in most parts of the world, unless you're living in Antarctica, which if you're living in Antarctica, probably means that you know more than the rest of us. And, please extend an invitation to the bunker. You can send that email. Just send me the private key to get me into the Antarctica bunker. Just send it to, contact@crackingcryptocurrency.com. I'll totally get it. You don't have to tell anybody. Just keep it low key. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Analysis. I'll be here. The team will be here, breaking down the markets, breaking down the news, and giving you guys our prognosis. I will see you then. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Enjoy the sunlight. Trade safely.